It can work for the buyer.
We have a caller.
Great.
Yeah. Let's see what we do here. Hello?
Jim.
Yes.
For Houseline, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me. Thank you for asking me to do this.
Okay. Let's see. The name of your company again?
It's Houseline.
Houseline. Okay. .com, or is it something else?
Well, yeah, I mean, Houseline.com would be where you would find us, or, it's an app, so appropriately in the App Store, but if you were on, your desktop and you went to Houseline.com, you'd find your way over to the app at some point.
Okay. And
What does the app do? Hi, I'm Diana.
Hi, Diana. I'm Bob.
Hi, Bob. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, so let's talk all about it. Why is there a need for Houseline, and
What is it?
and who's going to use it?
All right.
And what does it do? And what does it cost?
So that's a bunch of questions.
Let's start.
Let's start with kind of what was the need that we saw, or maybe what was the problem we were trying to solve. So we about a year ago started kind of looking at, or Jonathan did, one of the co-founders, Jonathan Watson, started looking at the industry and realizing there's very quickly, and this isn't just in real estate, this is everywhere, very quickly the idea of people being on handheld devices and accessing essentially the internet, right, through their handheld device was overtaking desktop. And there's all these trends. I think the very top one would be more phones are sold than computers, and this went very quickly. And we're talking in the blink of an eye, essentially. In 2 years, you went from having less phones being sold to way more. And so we've been in real estate for a long time, and have always been really good at kind of the trends and more important, the lead generation side of online real estate. And so as we're looking at this and realizing, like, oh my goodness, so many people are now accessing the internet, and more specifically for us, real estate, literally through their phone or through their tablet or something other than their laptop or their desktop computer. We started to look at the industry then and said, okay, well, where are these people doing this? And, you guys obviously are familiar with Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com. We kind of call these the big three. And what was happening and what has happened essentially in the last year is these companies have gone from kind of a position of strength on the desktop side of the business, where they were the top traffic site, to really having entrenched themselves as the number one destination site because of their mobile really domination. And so on the desktop side of the real estate online business, you've got, let's say, 1 million real estate agents, and there's actually more than that, but let's say there's 1 million real estate agent websites. There's literally thousands of broker websites across the country. You've got the Zillows, the Realtors, the Trulias, the Residents, the Homes.com, all these like portal type.
CastlesUnlimited.com.
Those people, all of those folks are competing for about a third of the traffic. And Zillow and Trulia have come out, and they're publicly traded companies now, so they have their annual reports. Like in their last reports, these guys were doing about 60% of their traffic was coming from mobile, and on the weekends that's up around 70%. And so as we just started really looking around, what we realized is the reason this is happening is because there's no competition for those guys on mobile. And when I talk about mobile, there's two sides to mobile, right? There's the browser, like you could pull up your Safari browser on your iPhone, or you could pull up, your Android browser. And then there's apps, which is a whole ecosystem unto itself. And apps account for about 83% of the time that people spend on their phone. So when we're talking about the mobile experience as it relates to real estate, we're really not talking about like a mobile responsive website. And that's what a lot of agents have done. They said, okay, I know I need to be in mobile, so I have a mobile responsive website. But consumers actually connect more with a native app, with an app where, the experience is built kind of the way they're used to having the experience of whatever site it might be or whatever app it might be they're using, but they're used to having that kind of native app experience. So anyway, so we're looking at all of these things. We said, you know what, there's really not an option for real estate agents to be able to compete unless there are some companies out there that will build apps for real estate agents, but they're very expensive. They're $500 or $1,000. And so we wanted to be able to come in, build something that was good enough that the experience that the real estate agent who was offering it to their clients, the experience would stack up. And one of the reasons that the Zillows and the Trulias and the Realtor.com have gotten so many consumers coming to their site is they provide a good experience. And so we looked at the experience from the perspective of really from design. Like, would it be an app that consumers would actually want to use? Anyway, so we've been building this thing. We launched it for the first time 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. It was like December 2nd. And we did it in the Northwest MLS in the Seattle market. And that's a market that we're familiar with. We had a real estate company there years and years ago. And it's actually done very well. So what the app does then is it allows consumers to access MLS data on behalf of a real estate agent who they become connected to. And one of the advantages that we still have in the real estate community over the Zillows and the Trulias of the world is we have the MLS. And the idea of an IDX feed, which is just basically data coming out of the MLS, agents still kind of have that advantage, right? Zillow doesn't have these direct feeds from the MLS. And so what Houseline does is we take the IDX feed on behalf of an agent. So let's say, Jim, your MLS there is what, ML Spin, is that right?
MLS Pin. Yeah.
Oh, MLS Pin, okay. And so we would go to the MLS on your behalf. Houseline would pull the IDX data for you, and then we would essentially create like your version. I say that term loosely, but your version of the app. And then what would happen is you would be able to go out to any of your consumers and say, it basically happens via a link or like a text message that you could send them, and you say, hey, if you are out looking on your mobile phone, why don't you do it here using this app?
Okay, so Bob, let me interrupt. So right now I have a myriad of websites, and some of them have mobile applications already. CastlesUnlimited.com, for example, has a mobile, I don't know if it has the little button, but certainly it comes up as a mobile site that's going to work fine with a phone. Now we're building for another one of our sites, CastlesMag.com. It's literally going to have a button because on that site we have other agents on it. It's an international luxury database, and we're going to have automated feeds. And so the button's going to have the agent's photo on it, and it'll say Castles Mag underneath, and it'll be like an app button. And now every listing from all over the world above $1 million is now going to be branded to that agent. And that's the only agent information that's going to be popping up. I mean, if you dug through it, you'd probably find courtesy of, but no one's paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the idea.
Is that sort of what Houseline is doing, but you're just doing it for one MLS?
So we started in one MLS. We'll be in...
Well, no, but for each agent that's using the system, it's just their MLS. It's not like you're going to be a hub.
For the whole list, for the whole multiple listings.
Like for 100 different MLSs. So if somebody gets the app and they get it from me, they're not going to be able to search Seattle. right?
That's right. They would essentially stay connected to you and be a part of they would look at ML Spin. I mean, they could. In theory, go look in Seattle, but they at that point would have to find another agent to connect with, because part of Houseline being able to provide listings is essentially saying we're providing listings on behalf of some agent specifically.
Yeah. So you're creating an app for the individual agent for their MLS that's priced lower than if they went out and did it on their own, but it's nothing unique per se.
Maybe not.
I mean, if I had a blank check and I just handed it to a guy that does apps and knows, how to get a MLS feed and all that, it's the same thing, I guess. Like we had. What do we have on
today?
Snap?
If they were to build you something, none of the companies out there yet have kind of what we believe to be maybe the secret application inside of here, and that's the in-app messaging. So right now, and I'm going to guess on your side of things, Jim, the sites that you're having built, if somebody has a question. So they're on it's important, I think, to make a distinction. I believe what you're building is mobile-friendly versions of your website.
So you have an IM component, sort of.
I'm sorry, say that again?
So you have like an IM component. So one of my customers has a question. They're on the app. They have a question about a particular house. They can instant messenger me specific to that house and have a conversation with me through the app?
Correct. So they say, hey, Jim,
oh, that's cool.
Man, we really like this one. Is this one still available? You get a notification on your phone, and you're able to go in there and theoretically respond faster than you might be able to if it was them. See, because here's what happens in a scenario where you're talking about what you have, right? Mm-hmm. The non-native app experience is the potential of that experience is not the.
I think you're going to have to explain for our audience what the difference between native and non-native is. Dumb it down.
What you're building is accessible through, even though you say you're going to have a button, when they hit that button, I'm guessing, and I could be wrong, but what's going to happen is your website is going to pop up on their phone on Safari, let's say. Let's use the Apple phone as an example. I'm more familiar with that than I am Android. So that if they hit the button, your Safari browser pops up, and they're looking at your website. Let's say they look at 10 houses and they like 3. Can you see that? Maybe you can, maybe you can't, but you're not going to see it on your phone, right? You're going to see it on like your desktop CRM version somewhere when you're back at your desktop. But Jim, you spend a lot of your time in the field. I don't know if you do, but most agents do, right? They're out, they're showing houses, they're around. They're not going to be back at their computer to see that question from Jim, who was looking at a property on your Safari browser, again, not in the app. And the reason consumers like apps is they work and they fit and they're designed for their phone, right? Things like swiping. These apps, there's a dating app called Tinder that's been all the rage because of this real easy ability to just swipe through people, right? Well, we've done that with real estate. We've given them this real easy ability to just swipe through houses. But things like load time on the images, like people want an experience that. So
Houseline has a swipe feature
for them. Yeah, it's got a swipe feature. It's got that in-app messaging. It's got the ability for you as an agent to push listings out to their phone. So let's say the person comes in, they save 8 listings in, Mucklefield, some suburb of Seattle, and we're out here on the northwest, so I'll use city names for those. But they save 3 listings in Mucklefield. I can go in on the app. I can find maybe a 4th listing that's similar to that. I could push it out to them. I could send them a message saying, hey,